Hello, hello, hello. This is module one of understanding human design. So I wanted to create this mini masterclass and really breaking this down into units for my Facebook group for anybody who is new to human design. So before I even pull up a chart, I wanted to really just explain to you what this system is and what it can do for your life. So, put it into simple terms, it is your energetic blueprint, it's your energetic DNA. There is science behind this system. There is four different systems: Kabbalah Tree of Life, the Chinese I Ching, the chakra system, and astrology. If you are new to human design and this is your first time being introduced to it, I am so happy to break the veil for you. But how can this improve your life is the theory in human design is that the body leads the way, and also that all of us are different and that there are five different types of energy beings in the world. That being said, I am a 6'2" emotional projector, and though you may not know what that is, over time I will introduce you and let you know what that is. But me as a projector operates very different than 70% of the population. So 70% of the population is manifesting generators and generators coupled together. They are the masses. They are the people that have come here to raise the frequency of the world. So before we even dive into all of the types, I want to pull up a human design chart for you to even understand, like, what is this? So what you need first for your own chart is your birth time. Your birth time is essential because if you have it incorrect, you can get the wrong information. Sometimes just a minute can impact your chart and the smallest detail. So you need your time of birth, your place of birth, and obviously your birthday. Your name doesn't entirely matter. It doesn't impact your chart in any way. It's just your label that you decide to put on. So I am going to share my screen so that you guys can see. So what I want to show you is what are we looking at here. So you put in all of your information and let's actually just create a new one. Testing. Okay. So this is actually the chart that had shown up um, when I had first put it in, which is not the same as my own chart. But anyways, what I want to show you here is what we're looking at. So over here on the side, this is everything that is located in our subconscious. This is a quality about us. Everything that is in our subconscious. Um, these are all the planets. So we have the sun, Earth, North Node, South Node, Moon, Mercury, Venus, Mars, Jupiter, Saturn, Uranus, Neptune, and Pluto. So all of these little numbers right here have to do with gates. This is knowledge that is within us. These are character things about us. This is the way that we function. Um, then over here, we have everything that is in the conscious side of us, things that we're probably aware of. Sometimes the gates match each other, sometimes they don't. So this little line here, this is considered a gate. It is a hanging gate. This down here, two numbers come to the middle and meet, this is considered a channel. Now, each gate has its own meaning plus the channel together, and they work together as the channel. Now, going into here is where you can find your type. This is the strategy for a projector. The not self theme is all about when you're out of alignment, what you experience. So a not self, a projector who is out of alignment will feel bitterness, will feel bitter about life, bitter about anything. Our signature as projectors is to find success, to feel success. That's what we're searching for. We desire. We are destined to have this. Everybody has their own destiny, and your signature is like your destiny. It's the part that you're destined to have no matter what. The definition has to do with this is your perspective on how you look at things. So I have a split, which means that these centers here connect, and this is one way that I look at things, and then this is another way that I look at things. And then you have your profile, and your profile is all about how you show up in the world and what you show to people and the way that you are meant to be perceived. So the six, the first number is in your conscious, and the two, the second number, is in your subconscious. So to find out what your profile is, just in case maybe you're using a different system, it's always the conscious, this number here, the point number here, plus this over here, point over here. If you're using my body graph, not a big deal, doesn't matter. But then you have your authority, and your authority is all about how you make big decisions in the world. So I'm an emotional authority, which means that I use my emotions, or there is no truth in the now. And we'll go into that a little bit deeper on another date, but I just wanted to bring this up. So this is considered your head center. This is the crown center also. Um, because this is white, it is undefined. If it was colored in, it would be considered defined. This is your anja, or your mind center. And again, this is undefined because it is white. This is your throat center, and this is colored in, and so it means it is defined. This is considered G center, or also our self center. This is where your soul is connected. This is where your direction, it's all about your identity of who you are. This is colored in, which means that it's defined, and I'll go into that in a little bit more. This is your spleen center, and this is where your fears, your well-being, your immune system, and all of your survival mechanism is here. So your instincts, this is where we locate our fears. All of these gates are different fears and activate. This is considered your sacral center. This is life force energy. This is where generators and manifesting generators will always have this colored in. And this is the emotion center, or also considered the solar plexus center. So this is our nervous system. This is where our moods, our feelings, our emotions, everything come from here. And then this is your root center. So when it's colored in, it's defined. If it's white, it's undefined. This is where your drive, ambition, stress, and adrenaline, all of your depression can also be located here. And then this is the heart center. So this is where we find our willpower, egoism, and the material world, and our self-worth. So people with undefined centers, heart centers, undefined heart centers, often feel like they are not worthy. And I'll go into that more. So that is what we're looking at. This is your energetic blueprint. When I'm looking at this chart, what I'm seeing is that depending on what is colored in and what is not colored in, because each center has its own meaning, this is where, when it's defined, when it's colored in, this means that you have consistent access to this energy. This means that you will be consistent in your expression, in the gates, in the things that are located, the knowledge that's located here. So for example, I have a defined throat and a defined self center. This means that I know who I am because my self-center is colored in. This means that I know who I am, I know where I'm going, and I know the direction that I want to take in life. Now, it's connected to my throat center, which means there's a direct channel, the 1 to 8 channel. Because my self center is connected to my throat, this means that the way in which I express myself, the throat center is all about expression, manifestation of things, saying things out loud, and expressing ourselves. Because it's connected to my self center, I will always express myself in a consistent way that relates to me, often using experiences and what I've gone through in life in order to help people understand. This is what I do when I'm reading people's charts is I am expressing and giving examples of real life situations on what it means to have these things colored in. For example, this is often how I speak. It's funny, but this is natural for me. It feels good to speak like this. So, for example, I have a defined emotion center, which this means is that I'm a very emotional person. People who have a defined emotional center often feel the full waves and full-blown spectrum of emotions. They can wake up in the morning and feel sad, halfway through the day feel happy, and at the end of the day feel angry. Sometimes these moods have a reason, but there are sometimes, more often than not, that there's no reason for them. Now, this is the really beautiful part of understanding human design because there's also the gates and the channels that are located in this center that will impact your moods, that will help you navigate this energy. There's also something to understand with emotions in general is that sometimes we can mistake our emotion center or our emotional waves as an emotional authority. We can mistake these emotional waves that are actually trauma. So, trauma can create emotional waves, which is natural and very, very valid. But this is not your emotional center producing waves. Your life is not meant to always be at this wave that is so intense from trauma. Trauma waves are much different than regular waves. And this is just something, the beauty of human design. When I learned this about human design, I started to realize why I'm so emotional, why I was always big emotions, and why I could never find that balance in life because not only was I experiencing trauma waves, but I was also experiencing my other waves. And I was resisting this part of myself forever. I was always saying, why can't I just be happy? Why can't I just be happy like everybody else? Or why can't I just find balance? And the thing is that that's just not part of my experience. I can find balance. There are times when I feel balanced, but it is not consistent. It will not always be balanced. Somebody who has this undefined, this emotion center undefined, when they are not around anybody, they will feel balance. Now, people who have an undefined emotion center can sometimes feel like they are empaths or that they are super emotional. The reason being is because a person like me can impact a person who is undefined. And what can happen is that when you, if you were an undefined person and you came around me, if I'm in an emotional wave, what can happen is that my emotions get magnified in you. They reflect back to me like a mirror, but you feel them at a more intense level than I do because your understanding of emotions is much different than mine. Now, this is normal and very just natural part of life. It's not good or bad, it's just the life experience. So, on the next video, I'm going to go into a little bit more of what a defined means and what an undefined means. So, I am so happy that I started to introduce this to you. Actually, I also wanted to show you another website. This is the one that I love to use. It is geneticmatrix.com. I don't know if you guys can see that at the top, but it's geneticmatrix.com. Now, to create a chart is you have to create an account, but when you do get there, You're gonna go create chart, and you're gonna click up here. Don't worry about everything down here. Come here. You can do it for a pet or a human. And then you're going to go through this. Now, with genetic matrix, it looks pretty much the same. It's very basic, telling you what your age is, yada, yada, yada. And the only thing is that it's not as interactive as my body graph, but if you know the knowledge, it's not a big deal. So the benefit of having my body graph is that you can click on these, and I have bought the system that comes along with it, but I actually don't use it. But if you do buy the system, you can buy it here and dive in deeper. But the knowledge in which the way it talks about it can sometimes be a little difficult. And it can be hard to understand, but I really love the way that I explain things because I'm able to use real life examples to be able to help you integrate it of like what that looks like in 2020, to have a fixed way of expressing ourselves. Like, what is a fixed way of expressing? So, our not self themes is just about when we are out of alignment. So, for example, the 5 different types are manifester, manifesting generator, generator, projector, and reflector. This information that I just put in tells me that this person is a manifesting generator. They are a 1-3 profile. They're searching, their signature is peace. That's what they're searching for. And their not self theme is anger. So when they are acting out of alignment and they are not following their strategy and following their authority, they will feel anger, anger for all things in life, anger for people, etc. So this is my introduction of what it looks like to pull up your chart and to kind of like understand what you're looking at. These colored in means that you have access to this knowledge, you have access to this energy, it is consistent, you always have access to it, it's part of who you are. The undefined, the white centers, just means that you are more fluid in this area, in this center. It means that you can try on different things, you can reflect things back to people. You are a mirror in this way of when other people have it colored in. But there is wisdom. There's wisdom in both. There's wisdom when it's colored in, and there's wisdom when it's not colored in. And that's the beauty of this system. Now, the beautiful thing of this system is when you start to get into alignment with it, your life turns into magic. And I don't know if you're searching for magic, but I was searching for magic because I was operating incorrectly. When I started to learn about who I was, it made sense. Unpacking this knowledge for myself really allowed me to be like, oh my God, I want nothing more than to operate like that because it felt good. It sounded good. All of that. I knew I wanted to operate that way. So, really aligning with my projector self and understanding all of the aspects and the knowledge behind it. I will slowly be making videos for you guys to understand all of the 5 types and their strategies and authorities, etc., etc. But it will take time. So thank you so much for tuning in today. I hope that this helped you on how to bring up your own chart. And I look forward to introducing manifestors to you. So if you have not already, watch the video of me giving a reading to Megan, and I have another one coming up tomorrow that I'm recording. And our first type that we're going to be going over is manifestor, and we're slowly going to work through the types. So thanks again, and I hope to talk to you soon. Ciao.